Hmm. Hmm. Welcome one and all back to the Newgrounds playlist generator series where I try to build whatever. These intros are getting worse and worse. So, last time we got through all of the user registration stuff and we started making some progress into the data models for the view song task. We've done most of it. The only thing I haven't done is toString because I kind of disagree with my past self here. I feel like we should make a special menu for this instead. So like each time you will see like all the things, and then if you click enter, you can see the exact value of that, right? And we can do that for song and for artist. I think that's a fair point, right? And that's something we can put in an iViewable interface. That's all I'm saying. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to make an iViewable interface, namespace project.data abstraction, public interface, iViewable. What is iViewable going to have? Let's say, okay, well, it has has ID, comparable. iViewable, I guess? Yeah, that would work. An iEquatable, iViewable. I suppose, right? Yeah. So, gotta put some stupid ass header. Okay. So, what are we doing here, boys? This iViewable interface already has an ID, and it has a compare to, and it has an equals method. So, what else can we get? If we compare, and by the way, iViewable will be the actual things themselves rather than the base. I guess you could also say that it has a base class. Oh yeah, that's something I forgot to do here. So because I'm inheriting from these, I should make this a protected set. Because it's going to be shared over to the derived class. So we gotta do this for every single one of them. Gets or sets. Yeah, I also have to change all of these to gets or sets. Gets or sets. And then gets or sets. So basically iViewable, comparing artist base and song base, whatever that is. I guess we can do that first, right? Well, no, not really, because this doesn't really articulate what it is, right? Let's get rid of these. These aren't relevant to me. So I'm gonna need artist open and also song open. Okay, so what are the differences? Either way, it inherits from some type of base class. Could you make that generic? I guess you could. You could say like T-base. Let's think that this is of iViewable T-base, I guess. T-base, and the thing itself is T-base, if that's possible. No. Okay, we can't do that for an interface. Then we're just gonna leave it as this. That's good enough. But like, what are the similarities? Oh yeah, by the way, I should probably change how this works and make it object initializers, was it? Yeah, so I would do like an object initializer instead, which makes it way easier. Like here, for example, all I do is just bass and that's it. Then you make a new list song, right? Age, join dates, compared to, like, okay, each one is gonna have a create menu, right? Each one is going to have, and I'm gonna extend this interface as I go, because later on we're also gonna have views for each individual song and artist, so iViewable will be extended a little bit. But for now, let's just have a public, I guess, void start menu, right? Creates a new menu it's because I'm not using anything, that's why. Using project dot presentation. There we go. New menu. New instance of a derived class. We have to give an instance with the current instance. So it has some type of menu attached to it, basically. I think create menu. And there's no documentation for this. Represents viewable objects. Right? Good enough. Now this is going to be applied to, well, simply instead of iComparable, we'll just say, what is it? Yes, iViewable, right? Now this is iViewable. It's probably easier to state T, I think, because then we can just say song. Oh yeah, instead of iViewable T, we should just say iComparable T, iEquatable T. That makes more sense. And then the only thing we're missing is it doesn't implement create menu. Yeah, that makes more sense. So implement interface, wherever that's going to be implemented. In the wrong place, but sure. I guess it's alright. That's not why it's giving out, it's just because it's not documented. Which means I might as well first implement it. So create menu, the way that create menu works is depending on the thing, it just creates its own related menu. So we can say new song menu dot start given this. That's what I'm planning to do. So with that I mean this. We're gonna call it this dot start. So this way it knows what object we're talking about. Therefore we'll be able to show everything, right? And we're gonna do, yeah. So What is inherit doc? And this creates a new instance of the song menu class. With this instance provided parameter to the constructor. Or just with this instance. Right? Because I think that way, yeah, so that's all this is going to do. It's just going to create a menu, and that's it. There's literally nothing else. And we're going to do the exact same thing, probably, for the artist. So this as well is going to have an iViewable artist, which means we're going to need to implement this. This is going to have an artist menu, followed by an artist menu. No, this artist object will be more clear. That way it's no more diverged. This song in a song object. So the only problem now is that these don't have anything. So, oh, remember T is missing. Type param name equals T. Now you just gotta state what it is, which is going to be the type of the viewable object. Type of view object. That can be compared. I haven't even really been going for that one. My thing already wants to fucking give out, doesn't it? Alright. So be it. And for now, there's just a create menu. Most likely, we're gonna extend that. Then again, is like, you can get the property, because in theory, it's that would do the same thing. I feel like anytime you have something like this, maybe better to just say like, well, I mean, then again, it's just void. We're not returning a menu. We're just activating a menu. Right? This song. But I think these will actually do that, right? So I guess in presentation, you should probably quickly just make those menus. Song menu.cs, namespace, project.presentation. Public class song menu, inheriting from menu. Abstract class. Let's see what we get here. Oh yeah, so you have these, right? But first we have a constructor. We have a constructor here for once, right? Just do that. There we go. Song menu, which will take in a song. Make sure that we have that property in here. Private song. Which can be its own field because it's not dynamic or anything. So we can just say this dot song equals song. Right, so we set the song field. The options are going to be ID. You could also print it, but I think it's better if you well, I would say new menu option ID, which is going to be an action that will basically just say I mean, you could make a special one for each and every one of them, but in theory it's just the same thing. It's you print it, ask for enter. That's it. So in theory, have it all go through one method maybe that just does it all. So I'm not sure what I want to fill in there yet. For now, just console override line, I guess. Won't do anything, it's there. Then we can state all of the different things that we want to show, which we have in our task here for all the things, right? So, like for a song record, we're going to need to print the ID, name, genre, and ID, name, genre, duration, description, because description is really long. That's why I think this is a way better idea. Release dates. There's a couple other things, yeah. Right. To be fair, I think this is more like metadata, right? And then audio file should be at the bottom. Yeah, I think audio file should be at the bottom. Cause like, what is it? Release date, the artist. So yeah, that's also something we have to include. That one's gonna be a bit weird though, because like that would mean that you would have to create a menu for each one. So you would have to show like a list of them, then activate which one you want to show. I feel like that'd be getting pretty complicated. But the last one's pretty simple. Yeah, so this is the quote-unquote download link. I'll just call an audio file. Right. And for now, these all do console override lines just because I'm going to have to implement it for each and every one of them. Although it's going to all come down to the same private void print data. Right. which is going to have an input helper dot ask enter, and then of course we have to provide what to print. So I would say console dot write line string message dot bold, perhaps, right? Because then what we can do is we can just reuse the same fucking thing several times. So I could just be like private void print ID, or just simply just ID I guess you could say ID of the name of the song, so song.name, and then song.id, and then console, or not console, right line, let's do print data, and then make sure you say this, because otherwise it'll freak out at you. So basically we're going to just repeat this several times. So for name, well, I mean for this you might as well just say name, because that's practically what the name is already. So and then print release date, right? So release date of this song name, if I can spell right, that's going to be the release date. However, yeah, because this would already be converted to daytime, you would just have to, yeah, this is something we're gonna have to work out later. This has to be formatted in a specific way, because otherwise it's gonna look ugly and make no sense to the reader. What else we gotta do? Genre. Let's not print data. Genre of this song.name, which is going to be this.song.genre. However, this also has to be formatted in some way. Private void print duration, this.print data, duration of this.song.name, this.song.duration, which this is in seconds. I wonder, is there like a format that allows you to, is there a format that allows you to do all of that at once? Just curious, because I, you know, that would make my life a whole lot easier. Okay, apparently it's HH backslash backslash. I don't know why the backslash is there. Why is that necessary? That doesn't make sense to me. Oh yeah, otherwise there are format specifiers. That makes sense. So what you can do then is you can say HH backslash MM backslash SS. I guess you could do that, yeah. It's a way to do it. And what else do we gotta do? Private void description. This dot stop, not print description. What am I doing? Print data description of this dot song dot name. There we go. This dot song dot description. Probably don't need to do anything else for that. Private void print artists. That wouldn't really be a print. That would be a whole new menu, I think, because you're dealing with multiple inputs, right? So like this would activate a whole new thing. That has two artists, and those two artists, if you click on one of those, will take you to a new menu that will then have all the other things you can activate for artists. Holy shit. So this one's a little more complicated. I'll just leave it empty for now, because I don't want to deal with it. And then private void print audio file. This can just be desktop print data. Download for this song name. Which is going to be this song audio file. Yeah, there we go. I think. Unless it's like a download link specific thing here. Temp audio path. Here we go. Forgot I had that. Okay, now we're gonna get rid of these. Which now we can replace these with their respective things. It's gonna be out because I have to say this. This is what's annoying about about using style cop, having to constantly type out everything like this. This is release date, so down here. This dot genre, print genre. I won't call it. This dot the print duration. This dot. Oh yeah, there's also a create return option, which I think I have to do for this one as well, right? Pretty much all of them need it, but yeah, whatever. Right. Print description. This dot print artist, which is going to be something a whole lot different. So this is all of the menu options, I guess. guess a menu option, you can theoretically also make a completely new constructor that'll take like a params of like tuples or something. So like for example, you would do like public menu option string. Well, it'd be string prompt action params array options. I guess. But no, I mean, what this would do is just, you would have to know. No, that wouldn't really work because that's in just here, but we want like an entire array. So it'd probably have to be some type of like static method somewhere else. Well, I mean, you could do a static method here. We can say like public static menu option array create options given a params string prompt action array options, then return, I guess, options.where. You could do that, but you can also just do it the old-fashioned way. Say menu option array options. Considering that it's just like a fixed size, right? You can just say new menu option array of size options.length. Now we can say for int I equals 0, I is less than options, menu options.length, I guess. I could spell. You can then say menu options I equals options, well, I mean, it would be new okay, so you can say variable, or we can say like string prompt action equals options I don't know. Yes, that works. So you can just say simply like prompt action return menu options. So doing that, so variable menu options creates a new array of objects the options to add to the array where I don't know, was it something like this? I don't remember. I always forget how to do this. Turns a new array of menu option objects. I don't know. But you could theoretically like take this, right, and then just say like menu option dot create options. I could just say like ID is dot print ID, name is dot print name, release date is dot print release date, genre is dot print genre, duration is dot print duration, description is dot print description, artists is dot print artists, audio file is dot print audio file, right? Right, because then all you would have to do is this. Perhaps do Shift Tab. Because that way it's, you know, less of those new calls that you have to make. It's much faster that way for long ones like this. I mean, can you do like that? No. Gets an array of options. For this song menu. I mean, in theory, these things are determined once. These are compile time constants, aren't they? Well, not necessarily compile time, it's just like what I mean is I feel like making this several times is a bad idea performance wise. Couldn't you also just say this dot options equals, but then you're gonna force it to be a protected set. Which, I mean, what's the point of that, right? You can't really make them virtual if you make it a field, so I don't know. Well, either way, it's good like this, in my opinion. header should be this.song.name, right? It's the header of the song menu UI. Yeah. And these are just all like relatively short things. That's pretty much all there is to this. That's the 2D song field. And then here we go. What did that say? It's the and then here. Now that's the song menu. The other thing is practically identical, except very slightly different. In fact, it might be better to make another class entirely, like an object menu.cs. So that'd be public class object menu. And they'll have the same thing. Be abstract. So this in itself is also an abstract class. Right? The only thing that this adds this is an object menu T, and then a public object menu T object say private T object right, and then having a protected print data, void print data, again you would just say console.writeLine message.bold, and then input helper dot ask enter right? Yeah, you just gotta document it, I guess. Make this protected, I guess. Can you just say right? That would be a getter. Just say the initialized, not initialized, but the passed in object to extract data from, or gets of this menu. And then this is, well, initializes because, yeah, sends the object to the object property, the object to extract data from, for this menu. Should not follow a property, fair point. So that we can put down here, and then this prints to be fair, this print data could also just be an input helper, which would honestly make more sense. So like, what I have right now is I have an ask enter. And a print message. Which I guess yeah, you can say I guess you can do like a public static void print default. Just print data. Just print string message. I guess, or something. There's gonna be print message and console color dot white, which is right here. Which will just prints a message with default colors and asks for the user to enter a key. That's why I think print default makes more sense. The message to print, and then I think an object menu is pretty much useless. Because then we can just do this here and say, instead of print data, I'll get rid of this and we'll just say not this, but input helper dot print default. So we're gonna have to take this and paste this go. Last one. So just get rid of that. And boom. It's just a bunch of small methods now. Don't need this anymore. Okay. So practically we're going to do the same thing here. But for the artist menu. I'm going to call this the artist menu. Appropriate field. This is going to be an artist. An artist menu. This should be an artist. This dot artist equals artist. Yeah, so that's that fixed. And this is gonna be this dot artist. Pretty simple. Now print ID is still just gonna exist. Again, most of these are probably gonna be completely accurate. This isn't a release date, this is a join date. Very slightly different, but it speaks for itself, right? It's still the same thing. Join date. Print genre does not exist though. Neither does duration. And description. Well, yeah, that exists. Artists would be songs. So in theory, you could... this could get you into like an infinite recursion loop. Like if you went too many layers deep, you would end up getting into some issues. So it might just be better to just print the artists and not allow you to like go over to them. Because otherwise, if you keep doing that, it's going to add so many stack frames that eventually you're going to get into like a stack overflow. I mean, it would take a while, but it's possible. Because you're constantly adding another stack frame to it. And returning would take a million years too, because you're just being such a massive loop you don't know how to return fully. So I don't think it's actually that smart of an idea to do that. Yeah, but print songs. So print artists, we just say print songs. And is there anything else in our task that we need to do for this? ID, name, age, description, join date, and songs with a new line in between. Yeah, okay. So the only thing we need to add after, well, this should also be called print join date, in theory. I mean, in theory, some of this does, like, a lot of this does seem very similar, right? A lot of it seems to just be the same. So it might also be an idea to say, like, that there's some virtual going on there. So, like, we'll have a, like inherit from song, right? And just remove specific ones. Say, like, this one is, I don't know. Because it has to be in a specific order, though, right? That's the problem. Yeah, I don't know if you can simplify this much. Although a lot of these are just the identical ones. This, I don't think I even need. Print ID and print name are exactly identical. So, I'd say this should inherit from song menu. There shouldn't be a print ID because that already exists. There shouldn't be a print name because it already exists. Join date. Yeah, I can just call it print date, can't I? So, yeah, but the problem here would be that you need a different thing, which you could just use like, yeah, I don't know. That'd be a bit more, bit too much work, right? Print genre doesn't even have anything to do with this. Print duration doesn't have anything to do with this. And print description, yeah, that's also just the same. So those are 100% the same. Speaking of, I actually should update my iViewable to have one of those. It should have a public string description get, right? But also a public string name. However, that, yeah, these are more, because, okay, these are better to have as like separate interfaces though, right? I'd say it's better if you have each interface only have one functionality. That actually seems like a very funny idea, right? So like, yeah, you can make like an I has name.cs namespace project.data abstraction. You can just say public interface I has name, which is just going to have a public string name get. That's it. And then just do add file header. An object with a name property, or with a name, it's easier to understand. The name of the object the I has name instance, I don't know. I has name object, and it gets the name of the I has name object, right? And then I has description .cs, which is going to have a namespace project.data abstraction, public interface I has description, which has a public string description get. Simple enough. Represents object with a description. Gets the description of the I has description object. There we go. Make sure you also add the file header. There we go. So now in iViewable, you can say I has ID, I has name, I has description. I comparable to, I equatable to. I mean, that's a lot more clear, I guess, and has all these things. You can also, I has views, although iViewable would probably be that specifically, right? So I would probably have to move create manually to its own interface. But yeah, having each interface only have one thing is pretty clean. So, there you go. Do I have an artist manual? I do. It doesn't know what it is because I haven't. So using project dot presentation. because now it does work. Oh yeah, don't use dot star, just make a new instance. Now, print audio file is useless because that doesn't exist. This is what I'm saying, right? Like, I can make these just protected in song. I mean, you can also make your own like thing that guarantees that something's going to be in it, but I don't think that's a good idea. I just think you should share some of these because they're pointless to do again because they're the same. Make this protected. Protected. I'm not really going to make that protected, no real point. Considering it's slightly different. Well, no, it's still... It depends, right? Because this uses a different object. I mean, in theory, you could do it that way. But that'd be really strange. I don't really know if that's the right idea. It might be easier to just keep it the same. And then just keep it as that. Because, I mean, the thing is you would have a different object. So I guess you would have like an object that has to be shared. So you can say, instead of it being a private artist to artist, we could probably just say like a protected. Well, no, because you can't make it virtual. It would have to be the same one being used for both, which seems convoluted as hell, and I don't know why I would do that to myself. Yeah, I think print descriptions should just be in there as well. Just copy them over. I think I'm making this way too complicated for myself. This seems hopefully unnecessary to do. But you could, right? You could. I'd assume so, but it would ruin some of the simplicity. Although you're not really... No, I wouldn't say to inherit from it, because that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, it says print audio file, but that doesn't exist anymore, so... This should be join date. Oh yeah, gotta do it like that. Print name, print join, print description. Yeah, so after... What was it? So after the name, you do the age. So let's do age, which will actually print two things. That will print the actual age, but also the birth year that it's assigned to, right? So print age. So we're gonna have to do that under here. I mean, these are all just like small methods anyway, right? In theory, you could even... Yeah, you could like just put it all into there because that's their only purpose ever. Like yeah, you could, right? So you could just say like this. Boink. You could. And then there really isn't much code at all. Because it's literally all in the same place. Oh, because it's meant to be menu.s. There we go. Yeah, because I'm starting to realize that it's just the same thing. It's one line of code. At that point, you might be better off doing this. This is print age. That one I haven't made yet. You can see age of this dot artist dot name. Which would be dot age followed by born in this dot artist dot birth year. But you can now see why I have these methods, because when you get this type of scenario, it starts becoming a pretty long line, and this is why you do this. Even though it seems pointless, it just makes it more clear what the purpose is of it. If you do these types of things, sure, they're nice, until they get really long. Then you don't want to do this anymore, right? Do I have this in, no, I don't. Well, now I do. Right, so I can just say, select this whole thing, say this dot print age. I'll do that, and for the rest is good. So it's more lines of code, but it does the job, right? Okay, so I think it can almost compile. I just have to make sure that this uses the right thing. So using project.data, or no, presentation. And don't use .start because that's done automatically. Well, I'm glad I could help. Let's see. Okay, it compiles. That's a good start. I can't really test it right now, but either way. Well, I guess I could. I could test it. I would just have to go into program and make a song object. So say like, oh yeah, that's something I was gonna change, because I did this for artists, right? I did this whole like empty constructor because I hate having to I hate having to type in all the parameters every time. That gets really annoying after a long time. Like if you have several different derived classes, it gets so ridiculous. They have like, I don't know, like 10 or 20 parameters, which is just the worst. So instead I vouched for a empty constructor where you just set like the defaults. Throat's starting to hurt. Okay. Yes, that's what I was gonna do. So that would be in Songbase. Where's Songbase? Okay. So basically, just act as if this doesn't exist. Then force everything here to be NA. So if you make a mistake, you can easily still track it because you just have to check if it says NA or not. Well, this cannot be done like that. Well, I could just say array.empty byte. Yeah. So that I'm not putting anything onto the heap per se, because it's an empty array after all. Yeah, so that should work. So now in song, instead of doing this goddamn nightmare, I can just do this. Do this. I can say this dot audio file and this dot audio file. Did I get a name? Yeah, okay. And then this dot release date. Although this isn't really this dot release date. This is base dot release date. There we go. Because I used a new keyword to like replace it. And then we don't need this random constructor. This is just gone. And it's much cleaner. And how can I call this? Well, I can just say this followed by this. Say ID equals 1. And I guess... Okay, the property or index or songbase.id cannot be used in this context because the set accessor is inaccessible. Huh. Ain't that a funny sight? Yeah, okay, so if you do this, the only problem is that you would have to get rid of the private sets. I don't like that. Well, either way, it should be protected, but... Let's see if it still says that. Yeah, I think it does. I think if you do this, it has to be like a normal set. But I don't want to do that because that ruins the whole point. If I do this, it's still going to say... Yeah, it will only work if I make it a public setter. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm gonna go back to the old way. There is a way you can do it, which is by making a record, I believe. What you can do is you can say public record song data. By just pass this long ID. I think it both just get angry at me, so I would just have to do it like this. And then public string name get set public genre get set. It's kind of a dumb way to do it because you're kind of just repeating yourself, and I don't like that. But then you definitely don't have to do as many things for it. I don't know, it's just one of those things that I don't like doing, and I know there's probably like a better way to do it. This audio file, get and set. To be fair, you don't even need a set here really. Because then I remember there was something like that you could do. How to prevent loads of parameters in derived classes. C#. Because I mean, there should be a better way. There should be. You can do that, or you can do a... Yeah, you can also do it with a bunch of builder methods that then build it at the end, but that's... Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, you also can do dependency injection, that thing that I don't understand. Yeah, but basically what they're stating is, best way to do it is to just make a record, and then use that record. So you would have this, for example, and what you can do is, I guess, these don't have defaults then, and then they're just going to be what they are. And I'm just going to simply do this. I'm going to say public song base, and then I just do a song data, which can say this dot id equals data dot id, this dot name equals data dot name, this dot genre equals data dot genre, and because of how Dapper works, Dapper is going to be using this song data record. I think I might have to learn how to do that, but I'm pretty sure this is a thing you can do. Because a record allows you to, I guess, initialize it very easily, so you can easily access it. So this dot, and of course there's also the other way, which is making a bunch of setters. I mean, you might have to do that anyway though, right? So it might be a good idea to do the builder pattern anyway. Still, like if you do the builder pattern, what you would end up having to do is have a default constructor that has nothing in it, it just has those set as the defaults that they can be. Wait, so what they have is they have a class within a class. Interesting. Yeah, so they have the builder which sets, yeah, it creates a new report object, and that report object has things in it. So you can do new report.builder.setTitle, .setOffer.setPageCount, and then .build. Okay. Yeah, the only thing you would do is just say that that the builder uses the thing that it's in and has access to this. You don't need to put this into its own class per se. You could put it outside, it would be a lot more clear, in my opinion, but okay. Optional settings. Yeah. But these are just like, they're never optional, right? But I'm going to have to do this anyway for some of these, because we want it to be a private set. If you want it to be a private set, then you probably have to do setters, right? So, I mean, you could do song data, though. But then, again, you're repeating yourself. Well, That's a lie. Well, sort of, because you can't. Can you set it inside of the song data? Like, can you say like public void set ID long ID? Can I say ID equals ID? Yeah, you can. Okay. In theory, a song base should only have song data, right? If you can put it into the song data thing, then really you just need like a set name, string name, which is this dot name equals name, and you do that for every single one of them. Right? I mean, that would make it more simple anyway. This dot description equals description. Set release date, date time, release date. However, I feel like you sort of also... I think you would need it for the song base. The song base needs the normal one. Maybe. I don't know, man. Because here you can't really... You can do only sets for just this. But you're still going to have to extend it. So setting release date would be impossible here. Well, you could say song base data, I guess. And then have another one there. You can sort of do that, I guess. But I mean, I think the builder pattern is probably the easiest. So like... If I just quickly do this, right? I'm gonna start from the very beginning here. Let's say we have a public record song data, right? Or like just like a song base, which is exactly what we had up here, right? That will have all of these different ones. I'm just gonna take these because might as well. There we go. It's gets or sets, but yeah. In theory, what this would do, right now, is that it has all of the things, right? This then needs to be extended, right? This would need to be extended with a builder that handles this. So it will have a private song base. So this constructor is private and only in here. I'd say, I mean, it's the reason that they do a builder inside is because you can then make this private and have it be within class itself. But I don't know if I like that. Because I feel like that's a little messy. Right? Because, I mean, this is alright, but like... Because what, okay, like what they're doing, right, is they're doing a private class builder. I actually don't think it's private, I think it's public. They do a public class builder inside of that other one, right? Which then has, I guess a private read-only song base. At base, right, which equals new song base, pretty much. And then you have the default version. And then you can have different ones that set it, right? We have a builder, set ID, for example, belong ID, which is going to this will simply just say at base dot ID equals is dot at base dot ID, and then return this. So that's why they have it in here, so that the other shit can still be private. I mean, it's, I kind of get it. I kind of get why they do it like this. Still think it's a little strange. So I still don't know if I'm a big fan of it. Right, and then you set whatever, you know, that's kind of how it works. And then you would have like a public builder build. And build is just simply going to return at base, which is song base, I guess. So that's the gist. You build it using the sets, and then you're going to be able to construct it as you go. But I feel like you're doing a whole lot more just to remove a few like parameters. I mean, I guess if you have like a long ass hierarchy, that would be like a concern. But I feel like this is pointless to do. There's no reason to do this, in my opinion. But I feel like this record could be useful. The problem is, though, you would need to be able to extend this, maybe, for the remaining things. Because we can't do a set of this stuff. I would love it that if you could do like this. But, like, for example, if I said, like, so you got song-based data, and I stated, like, what if I wanted to do data.id equals 1 or something? Oh. I guess that does work. But I thought a record would automatically make it impossible to do so. But no, you can do it. Unless it's just like... Wait, but can you Can I say like this dot ID, this dot name, this dot genre, this dot description, this dot release date, this dot audio file equals data. Hold on, let me look this up. Does a record implement a deconstruct method? Yeah, but only if you were to do it through primary constructors, I'm assuming. Yeah, you would have to make your own thing to do that. I thought it would be automatically implemented, but it is not. But I think this is the easiest way to lower down on parameters, and that doesn't like require way more code. I think I can do it for most of these of like setting it to a certain value. But you could also just say that we have something inherit this, maybe, and then all we do is we have extra methods added on top. That might be the easier way, to be fair. Genre equals data.genre. But I mean, in fact, you have this, but you could also just set it to a song-based data and say that this has all the like things in it. So saying the data of the song base is in here, right, while all this shit is somewhere else. So then, but you can't actually manipulate it yourself. In fact, you can't even access it then. But how would you access? Yeah, that's the problem, right? You wouldn't be able to access it then, which would be a problem. Yeah, I think this is the only way, where you basically repeat it twice. Unless you were to like say song-based data, if that's possible. Then you don't even, hold on. Give me a moment. Yeah, what if I did this? What if I did this? Did that? And had this inherit from that. Because then that means, like in here, you can see you can still access this. So wait, so now it's so now it's inheriting from it, and it passes in a value. That's something. that's something. Not sure if that's intended for you to do in OP, but you know, I did it. Yeah, but like, no, this would be like, yeah, because these wouldn't be set. You can set these to default though. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you set these to like a default value, and then, oh, this can be NA. So it has to be array.empty bytes. There we go. In theory, that's what you would do. This is a very, very weird thing that I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, really. Not sure if this is that great of an idea, but it's a thing you can do. It's for the base constructor. I guess. I don't know. I don't know if this is ideal, but it somewhat works. Maybe. No, this will be the base class of the song object. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, this would pass in just the song-based data, which, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. Because, like, I mean, like, if you were to try to do it now, what would happen? Right, that's like the question. So if you said new song base data, because it doesn't have like this, and you still can't do that because it's still protected set. So we're back in where we were before. Fantastic. I have learned nothing. This just holds all the things, and this we just inherit from it. That doesn't help me, because it's still a long-ass set of parameters. What am I doing with my life? Like, there's not many good ways to do this, really. But yeah, you can do things like that. And then add stuff to it. But how do you call that? The problem is that I want everything to be like a protected set. Right? That's like the big problem. And then when you're doing that, you're gonna have a lot of parameters. And I don't know if there's an easy way to fix that. I really don't. I mean, you can say it's a get in a set, and then have, but the thing is, if you do something like that, and this is what I hate about it, is if you do something like that, You're repeating yourself twice. So, what are you really doing? You're just repeating yourself several times. For what purpose? Like, that's kind of the problem, right? Well, I don't want to delete it yet, because like, this is where I had all my things. So let me do this first, then do this. And now, just simply say all the different things, because I think either way, it's just better if we do it like this. I guess I would have to say long genre. String description. Wait, hold on. Is it possible to go all the way back? Don't know how long that would take, but see if that's better, because I feel like that'd be faster. Did a whole lot, huh? Alright. So we're back to where we were. No, yeah. So the problem now is that you have to do the same thing again. The easiest way is, I guess, to say song base at base, and then say at base dot or rather, I guess the easiest way is to have a second constructor that just calls the first constructor. Right? So you can just say base.id at base.name at base.genre at base.description at base.releaseDate at base.audioFile. Because there's not really any easier way to do this. So a copy constructor in a record must call a copy constructor of the base. Oh, okay, so this is so what, you're saying that this already exists? But so if you say like new song base, like just like here, like down here, private void test. Who cares? If I say new song base, there's the, yeah, there is one, because it's a record. Amazing. Don't even have to implement it. So just do add base. Man, that was hard. Man, I really overcomplicated all that shit. Man, I'm a fucking moron. What, I wasted like an hour or two on that? Not an hour or two, that's a long time, but like maybe like half an hour for no reason. What the fuck? Records already do that for you. Jesus Christ. This is what I mean with I'm a fucking idiot. Like, I keep making the dumbest mistakes like this, you know? I just forget this one small thing, and then it's just... Down for the count, yeah. Alright. That simplifies things. Yeah, you would only have to say that you're passing a new song base. Might have to make one for Dapper. I don't know. I think Dapper can also do song base though, because it's just like a bunch of properties, right? So it's like it can easily be converted to that. I think if you do that, I think that's possible. I think so. Not sure. Yeah, so this adds duration, temp audio path, release date, compare to, create menu. But yeah, I gotta document this, I guess. So param name equals base, a song base object to use as the base implementation for this instance /param. See, that's a lot more clean. Barely added anything here. Which means, in theory, again, don't do this, because then you're just allocating shit for no reason. Just do public artist base. Long ID, string name, long birth year, string description, string join date. This.id equals ID, this.name equals name, this.birth year equals birth year, this.description equals description, this.join date equals join date, right? So we can do this, make another one, or no, that's already made for us, so we can just do this. Quick fix, add standard text, the ID of the artist, the name of the artist, the birth year of the artist, the description of the artist, the join date of the artist. Nice. I guess. And then for artist, all you would have to do is state artist base at base at base. Done. I feel like that's the easiest because then you don't have to worry about like all these different fucking parameters you gotta pass in everywhere. Okay. Then we can say param name equals base /param a base artist base object what did I say for the other one? Don't remember honestly. Where is song here? To use as the base implementation, yeah. So be artist base right here. Not artist base, artist. That's what I'm looking for. Just at the end. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that should be it for that. Let's see how I would have to call that though. So, for instance, if I wanted to make a new song object, so basically the problem with a new song here is that you would have to make a new song base thing. But you're never going to be, the only thing that's going to be using this is Dapper. So in theory, that shouldn't matter. This whole like cluttered mess of a way to call it, you're only going to get the song objects through Dapper, and you pass in song base objects by creating them. So in theory, that's all you need. So it's not like a problem that that's the way it is. But for now, we'll say like song equals new song base, or just song with a new song base of 1, just random things, genre dot classical, hello, 10, or rather 2010 10 10 12 0. Array.empty byte, I guess. Who fucking knows? And then say song dot create menu. So in theory, this should run that if there's no other build errors. Which there are not. Oh yeah, because I'm passing in a non-existent new byte array with like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Who fucking knows? I don't know. How much do you need to do to actually make it fucking work for that? Who fucking knows? I mean, if I just do like, if I just grab like some random thing from off my hard drive, should work. Sure. This one. Copy as path. File.readall bytes. Sure, it's at. Will now work. What the fuck? Why is that failing? And get metadata. Strange. So my byte utils are failing. Wonder where that is. So something in get metadata is not working correctly. This stream abstraction right here. So it is an iFile abstraction. Support a format exception. This is a format? Yeah, it's kind of like playlist generator is a bit of a weird way to explain it, but I'm just trying to make my own like playlist by like adding stuff to a database that I can then that you can like just play in whatever order you want, and also just view like information on each individual song. What the fuck's going on here, dude? What the hell? Get metadata. How does this work? Okay. Tag lib dot file dot create ifile abstraction. Let's see. Because this is a weird scenario. Like, what? Why is this the case? It should be able to do it, because the stream abstraction implements ifile abstraction. And it's just a name. So what is the name of the exception? Taclib.unsupported format exception. Supported format exception. Do I have to add like some type of MP3? It might just be because I have no. It didn't specify like a type of file, maybe .mp3, maybe. I don't know. Oh yeah, that was it. But now the object reference is not set to an instance of an object. Like the header. So the name was never set? Is that what you're saying? No, the song was never set. I mean, that's a fucking weird one. Okay. Not sure what happened there. But okay, yeah, so the problem was just I forgot an extension. Fair enough. Should have known that. So it's saying that song doesn't exist. Why does song not exist? Because it sets song for whatever song this is. But did it not? Strange. So like, okay, if I put a breakpoint here and I run this, oh yeah, of course. No, it goes in there, right? So not here. Let's go into just song itself. You know, let me just close all these. Song would be up here somewhere. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's check what happens. Okay, so okay, it's there. The name is there. This is what it is right now. Right? The name is Sean. So it's just when... So what happens here? Okay, so this instance is not null. So why did it go to console.clear? Wasn't even there yet. Oh, I guess because, yeah, then here's... Yeah. I mean, Newgrounds has always been like that. I mean, to be fair, nowadays, I don't think many people care about Newgrounds anymore. Because it used to be this place where people can, like, show their, like, animations and, like, Flash games and such. But, like... Nowadays, I feel like people just care about it because it's, you know, GD. You know, GD uses like the songs there, so therefore Newgrounds is just known for that. But it's like there's so much more to Newgrounds than just that, you know. And of course, I've never experienced any of that, but still, I wish I could have because it's a really interesting era. I mean, like games like Henry's Stickmin Collection, which is absolutely my favorite game of all time, were developed on that site. So it's just, it sucks sometimes that people just only care about the GD side, you know? It's just a normal rant I wanted to go on for no reason. Okay. So... Oh yeah, I was trying to test this. Yeah, because it goes through here for console not clear, but like, why does it... I don't know why it's null though. It shouldn't be null. Because what it's passing in is the reference to that, to itself. So, in theory, it should exist. Because yeah, I'm passing in a song object. And we're setting this dot song to that song. So how is that null? I guess because it's running before. Yeah, that's why. Because it's trying to get the header before the header exists. So instead of this, I would have to do get and say that this dot header equals this dot song dot name. What would happen now? Still object reference not set to an instance of an object. One is, oh, now get max prompt size. What? Wait, what? Okay, that's confusing. So wait, so 152, that would be right here. So we have this dot header, that's, oh yeah, because the header is not anything. I have to initialize it to a default. Equals, say like NA for now. How am I gonna fix that? Because now it's not done at compile time. Yeah, that's a problem. because I would like to do it through here, but yeah, that's annoying. I don't really know. How would you make that compile time focused? Yeah, because it starts out as NA. But how do I force it? I guess in the constructor you can reset it. So say like activate an action by default. So how does that work here? Like when the sprint menu get activated? Yeah, because it's a get input, right? I think I would need to have a... Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to have a... Will allow input equals true by default. So if allow input, or if this don't allow input, and then in the constructor of menu, you can determine that, right? And then set this to true. And remove this. So then we could say parent name equals allow input. Allow time. That's probably the best way to do it. Because then we only run this if allow input is on, and then else I know what the problem is. No, I'm doing this all wrong. No, you know what the problem is? It's the fact that I'm even trying to run start. Because now, we just say this dot start, right? And this is going to be protected. say this dot song equals song. We can change this back to this dot song dot name. Don't know if that fixes it all, probably doesn't. Ah, there we go. Okay. See now? Yeah, and then I would say actually string.concat song right? Wait, hold on. 120308. Are you sure about that? The time span is not. I don't think that's right. Okay, so the time span is not being calculated correctly. That doesn't work, and oh yeah, that's where the name is. I see. So the name of the file is actually there. So when you go to the song object, the temp audio path it gets the name. Yeah, because we do this. But we want the actual name. Ah, it's not name, it's title. Supposedly. Is it? Tag.title. There we go. So in theory that should work. So I go down here. Still can't, yeah, now I have to do some other shit here because this is not correct. We're gonna have to go into string utils for that now. And say public static good name, right? And this string str I think it's private partial.
Niet zo gek veel rood.
I don't know what it is. So I don't know, was that class? I don't remember. New regex. Do that. That's to file name. Yeah, what type of regex are we gonna use? Well, okay. We need to remove any characters that are not allowed. Make sure, I believe this, it's gonna have to be this, double backslash. Right, yeah, double backslash. Space. What else is not allowed? No, we'll start with that. We'll see where that takes us. Dot replace str with string not empty. Yep, and then convert this to generate private static partial. Okay, that's what it was. So there we go. Then we can do. That's gonna compile error. Yep. Because that's not correct. Gotta document it. Converts a string to a correctly formatted file name. A string to convert turns string with a correct formatted file name. That's a string. A new correctly formatted file name string, I guess. Public should become before private. Oh yeah. Didn't realize that was private. Tab. Boom. Rename this from my regex to file name regex. Now to just test it in program, I guess. It's probably the easiest place to test it. So say you had like console.write line. This string right here. Or well, you would only need this because this is. I mean, it's actually a completely different name, but. So you had this dot to a file name you can say like console.read line, for example. So oh yeah, any scenario of that should be replaced with underscore rather than. Right, so now if I remove these, I go into song dot to file name. Oh, the previous one's still going. So let's say you go down here. Alright, yeah, that works. Right? So I hover over this now. Yep. Link is now clickable. And I'm gonna turn down my audio real quick. Not sure if you can see that, but yep. Turn on my audio. So if you click on this. Oh yeah, no, because it doesn't add the extension. Oh, make sure X in the original. So again. Now it's not giving any results, which is a bit strange. Why would it not show any results? That does not make any sense. Do I have to create? Have not create. Download link in the You could also use a HTTP client. You know, maybe I should start doing that. The only thing I would have to do is make this asynchronous, which might cause some damage. Can you say public async song? You cannot. Then I think rather I would make a private employee async task async constructor async given a, or just given nothing really, because then what you can do is I can just take this, right? Desktop duration. Well, that doesn't have a private set. Come on now. That should have a private set. Yeah, maybe I should start using HTTP client for this type of stuff. So instead of doing this, yeah, this is fine. I think setting it up is fine. When you print it, we do something else, right? So how did they do this? URL. New URL, a local path. Then we can generate yes, that's just a name. Build the full path. And download the basics. Okay. Let's make a clickable download link. No, because what they think is using that, which is not what I'm looking for. Yeah, because like there is HTTP clients, but like wait, so what they're stating still is like so client will get byte array async. Request HTTP clients. Because this is confusing me. Given byte array. Because there's probably a way to do this. Custom headers. Send a response. Interesting. So instead of this, instead of this, you would say, for example, okay, no, let's just do like a private async task. Setup download, right? So string temp path equals, well, it's the same thing, except I replace get temp path with directory to get current directory. Get download, is that also something? Get, no. Oh no, get current directory is fine, I guess. And then, so we have a temporary path. I mean, this is completely new to me. I'm just trying something out here. So using HTTP client equals new HTTP client. And also using variable content equals new byte array content. What is this? Initialize a new instance of the byte array content class. Alright, well, that doesn't help me. There's the audio file. So what else can we do? Content.headers. I don't know what this means. So why am I doing it? Don't know. Why am I doing this? Okay, let me put this as a using, because that's a mouthful that I don't want to deal with. Media type header value. Source represented as a string to initialize the instance. Initialize the new instance of media type header value class. Well, it's not value though, is it, right? What is it? What does this mean? I have no idea what this means. What is a media type header value? It represents a media type used in a content type header is defined in RFC 2616 by the IETF. The class is part of the system.net.http.headers namespace and is included in the DLL. Yeah, okay. It provides support for specifying media types and HTTP headers. Media type is a string that identifies the format of the data being transmitted. For example, media type can be text/plain, source equals ISO 88595. Oh, I guess it's just like, alright, download slash string file name plus .mp3. So then we can just say file name and file name. Right. Okay, so I guess that's just to be more specific. And then we have an HTTP response message equals await. So we're awaiting client.post async. Send a post request to the specified URI as an asynchronous operation. And then the request URI as well, that is the URL that you want to set it to. Which is the file name. Yeah, so file, well no, it's the temporary path, right? Temporary path, like content. The content is, well, okay, content is a binary content which can have a header, a content type. I don't know what the hell this is, but okay. I mean, hey, I have to learn about this someday, right? I mean, this is what I'm getting next year, so might as well start early. Setup download, right? Sure successor from. I guess, yeah, say response, so you say not dot ensure, I misspell it, dot ensure success status code. Well, it's an exception if the HTTP response means that is success status code property for the HTTP response is false. Okay, so I guess checking if it succeeded in its operation. Read response as a string. So that would be the message dot message.content.read as string async, and then make sure to await it, and then console.writeLine response body. I don't know. What would this do? I honestly don't know. Well, either way, I can say this can be in here. No constructor async for now. Just want to make this public, and then just give some a task, just so that it doesn't cause any issues. DSD, yeah, there we go. So can I now, in program, go and say song dot setup download yeah, and we can await that for now. So there's a complaint about that. I want to see what this does. Because to be fair, I have no idea. I'm not good at this shit, but I'm gonna try and learn about it. System does not support the exception. I don't know if I understand this shit. But I'm gonna attempt to learn about it. So alright, what's going wrong here? What line is specific? So 994 here. Post async. Temporary path and content. So if I, for example, did this, it might be contents of that. Send async set download. Again, it's like it's failing on this. Yeah, this is confusing. This is a very confusing thing. Kind of just like looking at what I'm doing wrong here. It's just the file scheme is not supported. Is it because of the... Oh, because it's the .mp3 extension? Why is it failing? The URL would be like for example, I did this. Okay, so now, alright, well, we're making progress. Now it's saying that the method isn't allowed. Why is the method not allowed? Okay. URL you provide. How about http://bin.org? Let's try that. Still method not allowed. /post. How about that? Take a long time. Or did it finish? So either it's taking a million years or well, it's really taking a while. You know what? I like my original idea better. Because this type of stuff you need some other shit to be done. An easier way to handle this is to simply just get a temporary audio path and print that audio path. It says it has no results. Which of course it doesn't, because I want to download it. I guess because I didn't write all bytes to it, I think. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So, we just read all bytes, right? But of course, you gotta write it as well. Let's say file.write all bytes to this.temp audio path. This.audio file. So what would happen now? Ah, that was the problem. Oh, that's so fucking obvious. Holy shit, I'm a dumbass. Of course. You gotta write the bytes to it first before you can do anything. Dude, love it. Okay, yeah, that was so fucking easy. Yeah, so it works in the terminal, but once we go into once I get ASP.NET, I'm 100% gonna go for obviously the HTTP request stuff. Oh, great. Anyway. Yeah, but yeah. Yep. That wasn't even hard. It's just being a dumbass. Tag.title. So now I don't need to do all this shit. But yeah, it was interesting to attempt doing that. It just doesn't work for my scenario. Because I don't have that yet, you know? So yeah, here you can just do this, and it's going to open it because all the bytes have been written to that. To that file, right? And that happens to write in the constructor. Duration is not correct though. I don't know why. So get audio duration gets the duration. Because I randomly added 12 hours to it, when it's clearly not 12 hours. The 3 minutes and 8 seconds was correct, just not the 12 hours. Don't know where that came from. Right, okay, if I take this, right, because now I can test that, I'm pretty sure. So, alright. So you go in here. So, this value, let's go into properties. Duration. Yeah, it's 3 minutes and 8 seconds. The duration is being calculated correctly. That's not the problem. So it's just the displaying of it is wrong. Oh wait, that's... Okay, there we go. Wait, what is lower HH then? I think lower HH is like... I forget what that is. So if you do like... Is that song.duration? Right, and you say HH. Normally they would tell you what it does. I think not sure why HH fails and capital HH doesn't. I don't know. But okay. That's what it is, I guess. Okay, so that's fixed. And this, that's our, yeah. Now we're gonna have to do that in every menu. We're gonna have to manually start it up with this.start, because otherwise it just won't work. Which that means at least something has to be done here. And then okay. And the start menu, let's not start. Cool. UI helper isn't worth it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so it's 10 p.m. I think I've done enough today, so we're just gonna, I guess, push whatever we have. To new viewable interface. There we go. These, the only thing I really changed in these was I changed how the things were, and I added that, yeah. These are the menus. So yeah. Classes to added create menu method to both. Then that would be this, right? It'd be artist menu, song menu, created start of artist menu, and song menu. Add a new constructor, or well, add a new, what would you call that? I've to menu option or multiple menu option. Reading rates. Yep. By details. This was just metadata and getting methods to properly return the desired output. There we go. Okay, updated string utils to create file names from strings. Boom. Default to input helper. commenting normal messages. Okay, then this changed menu class to have start method be activated by its derived classes instead. And yeah, that's it for now. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna leave now. It's like 10 p.m. so see you later. Goodbye.